Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video, I'm going to summarize a recent fishing trip where I went and met up with my buddies to fish out at Old Hickory Lake. And so started off the morning by filling up the boat with a little bit of gas. And as you can see here, I was really excited about catching them on a moving bait. One of the ways I like to fish is cover a lot of water, and I feel like to do that, you got to have some moving baits. With it being wintertime, I like throwing a jerk bait, an A-rig, square bill, little flat side, and so was really feeling optimistic on catching them on a moving bait on this particular weekend. On the way to the lake, I got a message from one of my buddies is saying that they're actually going to get started a little bit later on this weekend, and so I was technically an hour ahead, but luckily my buddy Doug doesn't live too far from the lake, and so I decided to head to his house and crash the party over there, and decided to go ahead and pick him up early. So since I was an hour early, Doug didn't have his tackle together, and so spent a few moments there at his house, let him get his tackle ready, and then we headed off to the lake and waited for our other buddy to get there. One of the things I really love about my power poles, and wouldn't expect them to use them in this way, is that I can power pole down there in the don't wake zone and get my tackle ready. And so I don't like to tie on my treble bait lures when I get to the lake or prior to the lake, because they seem to always get tangled up in everything, and a lot of times you don't know which lure you want to throw until you get to the lake. And so as I was waiting for Mike to get his boat in the water and launch and all other good stuff, I just rigged up my tackle. And again, one of the things that's really neat about power poles is just anchoring down, getting all my stuff together, and super helpful. And again, as you can tell, I was really planning on catching them on a moving bait. Decided to tie these guys on while Mike was calibrating the compass on his new trolling motor. Mike's been waiting to get a new Ultrex a while, and he finally came across a good deal, and so they installed it a few days ago. This is his first time on the lake, and he's just getting it dialed in. Well, the day didn't really turn out the way I planned it. We had a little bit more wind than I was expecting, and if you're like me, sometimes that wind can make casting a little difficult, especially with a bait caster and you're trying to throw a light lure like a jerk bait. And so had a few backlashes, and this is a new rod and reel setup that I got not too long ago, and this is the first time I had it out there, and so was still dialing it in. And one of the mistakes I think I made was putting too much line on the spool, and so that didn't help trying to cast into the wind. And so if you have trouble with backlashing on your bait cast reels, maybe that's one of the things you should look into, is making sure you don't have too much line on there. I had everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. So I was casting around the dock there and got it wrapped up on the dock. Luckily, I was able to get it out there. One of the times I was casting at the wind to bring the lure with me down current, and it backlashed. And so while I let that lure sit there and bring it back in, it ended up getting hung up on a tree. If I wasn't getting it unhung for a tree and getting my new line in, it'd be wrapped up in the camera. Once I got it from the camera, it would be wrapped up on the console. And so just a really a frustrating day. And luckily it was a nice day, like weather-wise. We had a little bit of sun, a little bit of wind, and not terribly cold. But man, I just felt like from a fishing lure perspective, everything that went wrong. There was one time I retied a double uni knot on my spinning reel, and cut the wrong side of the line, and it's just a really frustrating day. And the few fishes that I catch wasn't the target species. I caught a few skipjacks, and then I caught this guy, and I'll just let the video roll on this one because it was a pretty fun fight. Well, that's all I got for today, guys. You know, I mentioned I got some new rods and reels earlier in the video. If you want me to do a little review on those or talk a little bit about why I chose the combo that I did and what I plan on using it for, just let me know in the comments. If you're still watching, I appreciate you. Until next time, guys. See ya. Bye.